My name is Bernard Slippers, and I'm the founding director of the Africa Science Leadership Program. And I'm based at the University of Pretoria, where I'm the director of the Forestry and Agricultural Biotechnology Institute. I think it's widely recognized that scientists don't receive much skills development. And when it comes to leadership, it's something that they often have to absorb as they go or learn from experience. And it's very evident as science is increasingly required to manage large teams or to have more social impact, where you're also needing to work in a transdisciplinary context with governments, with industries, with societies, that leadership skills is crucial. It's also crucial for science development, and this is especially true in Africa, where science is rapidly growing and developing, and it's often young researchers that are tasked not only to do research and do all of their teaching, but are thrown into leadership positions very early or very early in their career, and are required to do this on top of all the rest of what they need to do. And besides that, we also within the ASLP believe that everybody has a leadership role somewhere to play within their ecosystems. So really, as Africa's science system grows, all the scientists within the system has a leadership role to play where they are within their context. I think our vision originally could never have encompassed everything that the ASLP has done since. We wanted to create this program, a platform where people can connect with each other, but where we can also do some skills training, reflect with them on what leadership means in their context. But it ultimately became so much more, where people's lives really got transformed, their vision for their own environments, their vision for the continent, were transformed, where they found partnerships and a community with whom they can tackle this task of building and developing an African science system. It also changed all of us that were involved in this program. It's changed our view and our vision of Africa and Africa's science development going forward. The ASLP has impacted me in many different ways. On a personal level, engaging with bright, enthusiastic, passionate, energetic people from across the continent has been deeply enriching. Learning not just about different cultures and different countries and different science systems, but also different perspectives on the world, people's different perspectives on careers and science systems has been deeply enriching personally. I've already mentioned that it's changed my own vision of the place of science in the world, the place of science in Africa, and what lies ahead for the future of science in Africa. But it's also added many skills to my skill set. I've had the privilege of sitting through many of these ASLP workshops and seeing and learning with the fellows about listening, about managing teams, about generating ideas and organizing ideas, about developing those ideas into projects, and those have deeply enriched my career as well. I think I apply many of those skills almost on a daily basis, thinking, how might we? Changing the buts into and, really reflecting on how we're listening to people. I think in many ways I apply those skills almost on a daily basis, not just when I'm in a position where I need to lead a group of people or lead a discussion, but in personal interactions. I think they've been deeply enriching in that regard. Oh, there are so many. It's very hard to share a few key moments without going into hours of discussion. I've always, it's the community itself is amazing. So every time that you reconnect with this community, it's deeply special. There's something that happens at the workshops that is different from what I experience in many other spheres of life, where people connect with each other on a very deep level. So when you see each other again, it's like a family, a community, a really special connected community that's reconnecting. So every one of those moments always stand out. You feel like you're coming back into the fold every time you see each other. I love the art moments. I get little chance in my life to do art. You know, you're really running on this with this rat race that we all get caught in, and few moments to stop and reflect and do art. And art has been used within the program, and those have often been really special moments of still reflection, you know, expressing something of what's inside, you know, externally with paint on a medium. And also the lessons that's come from those, I think, have been wonderful, wonderful moments. But there are so many more on a personal level, engaging with people who are seeing their own lives, their own careers differently, sharing moments from their lives where things that they've started or things they've learned in the workshop have really impacted other people. I think that those have been really special moments. The future of science is in the hands of the scientists in Africa, and in particular in the hands of young scientists. We have, as science has grown, the simple maths mean that you know, that there's lots of young people, new people coming into the system. So I think, you know, the future is bright in the sense that it is in the hands of bright and passionate young Africans who are passionate about science and passionate about a better world through their science, um, in whose hands it is now to develop the systems through which we do the science, the kind of science that we do. So my message would be that in every one of our hands is a little piece of the puzzle that will build the future of what this continent looks like, because the development of our continent is deeply connected to the capacity, the science capacity that exists on the continent, that will grow on the continent, the people we will be teaching, the research and the knowledge we will be generating. So let's take hands, bring our pieces of the puzzle together, and build this future vision that's in our hands, in our hearts, in our minds. I mentioned earlier that we have a view of collective leadership as the important driving force in the world. And in that regard, I view every young scientist or every scientist within this African system as a leader, as having a piece of the responsibility with the rest of the science community to build it. Sure, you know, we will also be, and there are many that are in positions of authority, you know, as leaders of universities or leaders of science granting agencies or leaders of departments, leaders of faculties, leaders of programs. But those are not the people that the only people we will rely on to build the system. It's every scientist who decides to follow an initiative that somebody else has started, that aligns with their vision and their values, and where they can make a contribution to make that project a little bit stronger. It's every scientist who's willing to plant a little seed and motivate others to join them in that journey. And it's everyone that rolls a stone out of the road for somebody else to go on their journey of starting a project, building an institution, building platforms and systems. So really, from my perspective, it really is everybody that's within the system. There are many individual projects that have been launched through the course of the ASLP project, and I think many of those have addressed, you know, local issues, Pan-African issues around funding, around gender equality, around outreach, about further skills development. But I think the most valuable thing that the ASLP has done is to create a connected community who is equipped to systematically build the science system, who have been given skills that they can apply in their everyday lives or in further science leadership programs that they launch. And we've seen a blossoming of science leadership programs being launched in individual universities in different countries, just further expanding this community. You know, as one goes on this journey of trying to develop an African science system further than where it is today, one needs help. This is not an easy journey. Everybody is overloaded. with too many demands on their time and on the resources. There's little resource available, and you really need a strong community that are taking hands to do so. And I think that's perhaps the most valuable thing that the ASLP has done, is create a connected, engaged, passionate community that are working with each other towards that goal. The ASLP, over the course of its 10 years, has evolved from a program that is centrally managed with a few people every year going through a central program to something that is much more distributed and really is in the hands of the passionate ASLP fellows that have come through the program. I think the program still needs an anchor, still needs support to make sure that it keeps connected, and helps provide resource for this expanded network. So I think funding for the future is important to make sure that that anchor remains and can support this network. But it really is needing, I think the ASLP is ripe and looking for partners that are as passionate as they are about the development of science on this continent, and for whom there is little or few other stronger platforms, stronger networks, resourced by the same kinds of skilled, equipped, passionate young people who are ready to work to build science systems in Africa. So really, I think the future of this program lies in the hands of these young science leaders, and they're very keen to partner with others that share that vision with them. Impactful.